any time.
Control the UK boxing frame.
Say again?
What does it feel like to control the UK boxing?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the boxing board to control that one. It's a good night though, wasn't it? Good fights. Good. Well, most of the matches were with good matchmaking. Good fights. And, exciting.
What do you think of Derek there, Frank? You know,
What did I think?
Yeah, sum it up, that performance and what you thought of Wallin's performance.
It wasn't what I expected it to be. He actually, as soon as that first bell went, he jumped on Otto and closed him down, and he started finding a rhythm. And I thought early on in the fight he was controlling it a bit. I believe if he hadn't kept switching from orthodox to southpaw, if he'd have stayed, I think, as orthodox, I think he may have stopped him, because he's moving one way all the time, going clockwise, and where he was switching and sometimes catching with the left, he was moving away from him. Whereas moving that way with the right hand, I think he would have. I do generally believe he would have stopped him, but it wasn't to be. And the last couple of rounds as well, when he came back into it a bit, Wallin, didn't he? He came back into it, and he gritted his teeth and again. And he was talking in there. He said there's a couple of moments in the fight where he didn't feel he had anything left, but he found it and done what he had to do. I thought when he knocked him down, that delayed action, that was a bit of a thing, and he got up, and I thought it was a bit fierce what the referee did in stopping the action, because he wasn't throwing punches back, and I think that may have let him off the hook. But anyway, that happened, and he showed, as he always does, Derek. He fights to the last 10 seconds, knocked him over again, and that was it. So it was an amazing performance from a 41-year-old guy who I've had my ups and downs with, and it's 18 years now. 18 years since he had his first fight. It was in February 2007, and it's been an amazing journey for him. And tonight, the fans, I mean, no matter what anyone's view is of Derek, the fans love him, and they loved him tonight, and they got behind him, and I think they showed a lot of appreciation for what he does, because every time he fights, he gets out of that ring and he has nothing left. He gives everything in the ring, and I think they know that and appreciate that.
What is a legitimate final fight for him? I know he held up with 3 posters and he said he'll do whatever he wants, but...
what is a legitimate fight? He's just won the Eliminator for the IBF title. So, on a 50th fight, what do you want to do? Do you want to fight for a title? Or what? I don't know. Do you want to go where the money is? That's his choice. Look, boxing's a dangerous business for any fighter, especially when you get to his age. And, it might upset him. I hope he doesn't, when he gets to 50 fights, say I want a 51st and 52nd, because I think, this stuff does catch up with you, there's no doubt about that. And I just want him to, he's achieved his dream of having 50 fights, and that's it. But what the fight's going to be at this stage, I couldn't tell you.
Frank, how surprising was that performance to you? I know when Della's fight was initially getting announced, it wasn't for Otto Wallin, it was for Big Baby Miller, completely different style. And then all of a sudden you get this tall, rangy southpaw in who's only lost to Fury, Joshua. Was tonight a bit of a surprise with how it panned out?
No, not really. Because not for me, it wasn't. Because actually, I felt Otto would give him quite a few problems, and he negated a lot of that. Certainly early on in the fight. Derek will always have fights like this now because he's got older, and that's why he fights. He's got skills. I mean, when you look at him, the way he rolls in, he comes in low, he tucks himself up, and he doesn't get caught that much. He's obviously the amount of fights in the ages. If he doesn't know now, he's never going to know, is he? What he has to do. But I thought he done well, and as I say, you've got to remember where he's coming from and his age. It's just amazing. Boxing is not an old man's game. It is it's for younger fighters. But but I've got to take my hat off to him. I told him a couple of years ago to retire, and said publicly he should retire.
Frank, when you saw the court and the doctor went to the ringside at one point, were you worried that the fight could potentially have been called off with that particular court? What,
for a cut? Yeah. I mean, it's not. If it had been called off, it'd been called off. Nothing we could do about it. I mean, the corner done a good job on him. A couple of times, he's very smart, Otto. A couple of times in the fight, and the referee, he pulled him up on it once, but he was putting his glove and the inside of his glove and pulling him onto it and whatever, trying to make the cut worse. But he didn't have one cut, he had 3 cuts. He had one here, one under there and one above. So they were quite bad cuts.
Frank, just a word on Nathan Heaney, a shock loss tonight.
He looks, as the fight started off, he looked quite composed, and his jab was going well, but he just lost that composure and paid the price. The last 2 rounds of the fight, you felt that he was that much away at times from getting stopped, getting caught, and he eventually did.
Frank, what do you do with Zach Parker now? Obviously,
Sorry.
Zach Parker, what do you do with him next? Obviously, the bully options apply.
Well, he was hampered by that bad cut. I mean, he had a terrible cut. In fact, I was surprised the referee never stopped that. I mean, it's bleeding all the time, wasn't it? But it was what it was. He's got to see what his options are. And he's going to be out of the ring for a while waiting for that cut to heal, and then we'll see what's what. But that hampered him in a big way, that cut. And there's a couple of times in the fight again when he got it together, he hurt him, and did hurt him. But he wasn't able to follow up. And I think, when you've got a cut, and I said, first thing I said to him after the fight, you kept making it worse. When you're pouring it in like you're doing, it's basic stuff. If you're doing that, you're making the cut worse. You leave it alone. And you're pouring it, you're pulling it apart, and that's what he did. And he's done that quite a few times during the fight.
And on Masood Abdullah's performance today, what did you think of the fight?
Masood?
Yeah.
I thought it was a cracking little fight. I thought it was a very close fight. Could do that one again, couldn't you? And it was a very, very close fight, an enjoyable fight. Yeah, I thought he boxed well. I thought Rafferty done really well. It was a very, against an opponent who comes to fight, and I think that he boxed extremely well and eventually broke him down. He worked him out and broke him down, and I think he done it in good style.
Frank, we've got a 140s at the moment. We're on a good run. We had Azeem, Smith, Catterall next week. Rafferty's there right in the middle. I know he's a step away yet. How do you see him progressing to that level? You've got Piers O'Leary in your same stable, which would be
I'd like to see. Liam Davis has moved up now. That's another good fight. And they're ticket sellers. I mean, what's happened with these guys tonight? I guarantee you, nobody thought this would be the amount of people here tonight. Nobody. And we promoted the backside off of it. We made, some really good matches with good ticket-selling fighters, and it was a tremendous atmosphere. And they all stayed right to the end. All of them were there to the end. And these youngsters that we've been really working with over the last few years, they're all building. Nearly all of them have got a good following. So, in that particular division, the 140, we're blessed with some good talent there. I mean, I'm not. Queensbury probably got the best stable of boxers and best young fighters in the world, and including America.
Frank, Tyson was sat next to you ringside earlier today. Did you guys speak about his future or what he's up to?
Who was that?
Tyson Fury.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. No, he came to see his cousin Walter box, and he was happy, and then he got off.
He looked quite healthy as well.
He is healthy. He's had a few breaks. He's with his family. As I've said, on many occasions, he had a real tough year last year. 3 training camps, real tough training camps. The cut eye, which delayed the first Usyk fight, and he doesn't, he doesn't cut corners. When he goes into a training camp, he's like keeps away from the family, the kids, and he sacrificed a lot. He's a very, he's very comfortable financially. He's in a good place at the moment, and just keep enjoying it. He's got a few things I know they're announcing, I'm sure it's not boxing, but I'm quite sure, going to be very interested in what will be announced. They're quite exciting. So I don't think you're going to see him in the ring any time this year if he comes back. And I really don't. I don't think he should. I think he should enjoy what he's doing.
Frank, I saw Anthony Yard ringside sat next to you as well.
Sorry?
Anthony Yard was there as well ringside. Obviously, everyone's talking about what's going on in the background now. Has that all been sort of put to bed?
Everything's cool and we're working together.
Yeah, is he back signed with Queensborough?
Yep.
Frank, what do you remember about Derek's debut? He debuted on an Amelia Khan card, I think at Cedars.
Who's this?
Derek Chisora's debut.
Yeah.
Do you remember much about that in 2007, I think?
No, I don't.
No?
I don't. It reminded me. It's funny. You don't really on the guys starting out. No, but I remember when signing him. I remember we sat down and Dean Powell was alive then, and when we done the deal, and it's been a bit of a, when you think 18 years ago. I mean, it's amazing. How old was you 18 years ago?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, too young to be working. That's what I'm saying. It's a long time in boxing.
Derek told me a story that you and Dean Powell had a bet about the first Sam Sexton fight. I think you thought Sam would beat him, and Dean Powell said Derek could win.
Who told you that?
Derek told me that.
David who?
Derek Chisora.
He got it wrong.
Yeah.
I did that.
Any others?
Just a quick one from me.
Last one.
What hold do you think Derek Chisora will leave in the heavyweight division once he obviously finishes at 50?
What do I think? What his legacy?
Yeah, in terms of the hole in the heavyweight division, what do you think he'll leave once he exits at 50?
No, he's a guy who's fought everybody. He's fought everybody. Everybody he's got in the ring with. He's given everything, as I said earlier. And it's a funny thing, the best judges of this is, not so much me or you, it's the fans. And you heard them tonight. They loved him. They just come out and they got behind him. So, his legacy, fans' favourite. No doubt about that, fans' favourite. And as I said earlier, give everything, win or lose, gave everything in the ring. Don't be daft. How many get?
I can't complain.
Just water, man. Get that down there. I'm sorry.
Oh. Okay. Who's hungry? Huh?
Yeah.
You hungry?
Can't eat.
Right. The man's here. So if you've got any questions, please ask them.
Derek, just describe what the emotions were like after that final bell, because you left absolutely everything in there.
Second round, my ears popped. I didn't tell my trainers, so it was a hard fight. I think I made it harder for myself because I lost concentration in a couple of rounds, and then the cut happened in the third round. I think it was a headbutt. He carried on headbutting me, using his head, which is alright. I didn't complain, but I don't know if it was a good fight or not. I don't know.
And that was.
Huh?
It was.
Oh, thank you.
It was quite grueling, but it was had everybody on the edge of their seats.
That's nice. I like that. You don't want them to be like, okay, enjoy it. Look, it's in there. Oh, that's better.
In terms of the atmosphere as well, and obviously the result, how hard you fought, where would you rank tonight amongst your favourite in your career?
I don't know. That I don't know. I'll leave that to you guys. It's like me choosing out my kids which one is my favourite. I love all of them. I love the first one, I love the last one, so I love all of them.
Derek, when the doctor checked the cuts around your eye, was your heart in your mouth a little bit thinking it can't end like this?
No, because he said in the dressing room that if there's a head bar or something like that, I'll go back to the school cards and then look at it. So I knew I was ahead on the school cards when I was bleeding, so I didn't really care, to be honest. So I was like, oh, okay, it's happened. I didn't want it to get bigger, so just carried on.
Delhi had him hurt there a number of times, you know, terrific knockdown. Did you think at some point the end's near, the stoppage is coming? You were very close at one point.
Yeah. You know, sometimes in boxing you knock somebody down and then they cover well and then you go on, and then your tank just runs out. But for me, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'll drop and I'll come back up, and I'll drop, I'll come back out, so I didn't really care, so I just let it go. I knew I was gonna get him, but I didn't get him clean.
Derek, how does your body feel right now compared to previous fights?
I think I'm getting old.
Any
You
aches
are.
or pains in new places?
Huh?
Any aches or pains in new places?
I don't know. It's just when I'm buzzing off the adrenaline, but I feel like when I wake up tomorrow, I'll be like, oh fuck, oh shit. So we'll see.
Good steam tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ice bath and steam.
Yeah, I'll do that 100%.
Derek, a lot of switching and going into the southbound stance. Where did that come from? What was the thing?
From my trainers, Alex and Marius, you know, we did that for Alexander, and then we just carried on doing it. If it works, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So just carry on with it. I enjoyed it.
Well, that was one of the best atmospheres, you know, at a boxing event. Now you could hear the fans screaming your name. What's that feeling like? Just describe sort of that buzz you get from the fans singing your name.
You know, first of all, I have to thank God for, you know, after O2 Arena, I did say I want to come to Manchester. Frank Warren made it happen. You know, the dates were not working out. Like, can we move the date to this date to February? Can we move it to this? I'm like, yeah, they're fine. As long you get your money back on the gate, and then the crowd bought tickets, they came, enjoyed it. You know, I enjoyed it myself. You know, it was very emotional for me because when I arrived, I said to myself, if I left my hotel, I'm not going to cry. And then suddenly I'm walking, and then I see my photos of my pictures of other fighters, and then, oh, Jesus Christ, I started bawling out, you know, and it was very, very emotional for me, and very sad, because I love this game so much, you know, so I started crying, you know. I was crying like a kid, fucking hell.
Derek, are you ready to walk away from the UK fans tonight? We saw the reception you got.
No. So we're going back to Totenham. We're going back to London. We're going back to London. You're laughing. You don't want to come? Huh?
You just told us this was the last British fight.
Oh, fuck that shit. We're going back to London. We're going back to London. London, we're coming back.
Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about 50 and out, Derek, but if you continue to win...
No. That's it.
That's it.
There's no, oh, I won this one, let me get, no, that's it.
He wants to
Derek,
see.
you held up 3 pictures at the end of the fight. I guess it was some of that to some degree in jest, but if you could pick your final opponent, is there a name out there that you want to fight?
I'll let the public decide. I'll let you guys decide.
Obviously, you had Dillian ringside.
Yeah.
That's number 3, could be a potential.
It could be.
Or Miller, maybe, might be a good pick of the bunch.
Yeah, but I need something big. I think I've earned something big in the United Kingdom or wherever it's going to be, but I've earned something big now. And I know.
We do big.
Yeah, I know.
We do big.
Yeah, big. Yeah, Frank does big.
Derek, do you ever consider fighting outside, like maybe in Africa, obviously?
I was thinking about it. So the reason why I'm not doing Africa now is because, as you can see what's happening in Congo, what's happening in other African countries, you know, so I think it's unfair for me to try and organize a fight there anywhere in Africa where people are struggling and, you know, so it'd be difficult and then stuff like that. So I just said to myself, you know what, let me not try and put pressure on myself and put people in danger, so I'll just stay in the United Kingdom.
On that note, Derek, obviously there was a lot of talk previously about maybe yourself and Francis Ngannou fighting in Africa. Is he still a name? Because obviously he's a huge name from the...
I don't think Francis Ngannou will come back to boxing after the Asia loss.
If he was interested to come back, would he be more?
Nah. I wanna fight a fighter. Also, I might fight Jake Paul, who knows?
Are you looking at any specific dates or times that you want to do 50?
No, right now I'm just gonna go home, relax and just chill. And then I'll call Frank on Monday and tell him what's the deal.
We're going to have lunch, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to have lunch. You know what, Frank? You told me last time after George we're going to have lunch. We never had lunch.
No.
I'm still waiting for that lunch.
You
So
did
we have to do two lunches.
Two lunches.
Yeah. We have to go Scots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better.
Scots, we'll do that.
Derek, David Price told me afterwards that he'd like to see you and AJ. Is that realistic or not?
Yeah, who knows? You know, right now Adrian is just healing himself after the defeat from Daniel Dubois. He's not ready yet. So when he's ready, he'll come back. And I think he'll come back not to fight me, but to fight the Gypsy King.
Last couple, guys.
Derek, when you get emotional from what's the penultimate fight, do you fear how emotional the final one could be?
Yeah, it will be very emotional. More like to you. Be very, very emotional.
Derek, how many people that were on your debut or at your debut in 2007 were here today?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know. Do you see any?
Any people part of your team? Have been there since day one?
John, one of my strength condition, John, he's been there from day one. That guy's like herpes, he's not leaving yet.
He's coming back.
He keeps coming back.
Derek, just the last one from me. Obviously, we've seen your dance moves in the ring over the last 18 years. What's your dance moves like outside of the ring?
I don't dance. I can't even do a two-step. I just nod my head like everybody else. And then that's it. I can't dance. I cannot dance. But anyway, thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys from all the bullshit you write about me. You got me the back part, guys. I got burgers here. I'm trying to get a veggie.